Right now, there's some badass theme music playing for like a super showdown on the racing front.
Also, for the record, I have mine in start strength number 3. So if I had that start strength in 0,
You wouldn't be able to handle it.
yeah, there's a no-lose situation for you.
You can't hear me coming, you can't hear me going.
Right. How safe is that? You can hear me coming. I don't even need a bell with this one.
Ding, ding. What's that sound effect?
Yeah, there's
Or like the train that goes by?
I don't know. It's never happened to me.
That's me.
Look, you guys want it. We want to know. So in today's video, we are going to be putting the Magician Alpha head to head with the Wired Warrior.
I want to go fast.
He always wants to go fast. I'm going to be riding my beloved Wicked Red Warrior today, which is actually, you bought one too, but
Yes.
mine's exactly like this. You will be riding the brand new contender, the Magician Alpha.
Step through.
Step through version.
Yeah.
Well, that's just because it's the newest version that they have out.
Yes. This is the second batch version alpha with the 1134 freewheel. I just kind of fell in love with the torque sensor on these things. So I'm preparing
Yes.
for this.
So let's look at the differences between the Magician Alpha and the Wired Warrior.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So I'm really impressed with the suspension on the Magician Alpha, and the tolerances on this thing are incredible. The design of it makes it look like a singular body moving up, and then it also allows for a longer seat post use inside of the frame of the bike, which is convenient. And that's possible because your shock is on the back side of the seat post. So the Warrior suspension has been beefed up. I believe it is their 3rd generation update, and it is beefy and very, very durable and strong. One of the differences that you will notice is the shock placement through the seat post area of the frame. Wired has counteracted this by providing 2 seat post lengths, one for a rider that needs the seat post all the way in, and then a longer seat post to extend for taller riders. For the rear rack, you do have a plus 100-pound capacity, and it is using the curved tubing along the seat stay of the rear of the frame. You'll also notice that it doesn't extend as far as what you see with the Wired. However, the trade-off on this is you lose capacity, a 5 amp-hour difference in battery because of the size of the casing. So with the Wired bike, you can see how much longer the frame hold is for the battery casing, and it's very evident when you get to the rear wheel. However, it does have 5 more amp hours of battery capacity, and the rack has been moved and situated such to help deal with previous model concerns about wobble, as well as providing the clearance for the seat while integrating with the rear suspension. The owner of Wired is not bashful about saying he does not want bottle cage mounts diminishing the look of the Wired frame. Well, as you can tell, Magician has no problem putting bottle cage mounts on their frames for the Magician Alpha. One of the more obvious differences, and has been noted in the ride, is that there is not a second guard on the inside of the chain ring for the Alpha. This causes the opportunity for slippage and allowing the chain to fall off of the Alpha's chainring while you're in a high-speed, perhaps bumpy ride. However, the Wired does have the double guard, and it is quite helpful in the same instances from keeping the chain or helping to prevent the chain from flopping off of the chainring. The most obvious difference between these two bikes is an audible one. The very difference that you all want to know about is the motor, and the Wired has a very distinct, desirable sound to it. It screams, it says, I am here and I am powerful and I want to go. The Magician Alpha shows up and lets its presence be known by streaking on by you in complete silence. I said, it's that noise. There he is again. I love it. It is very powerful and very quiet. It is the opposite of what you get with the wired Hintock motor. However, I do have an affinity for both. There's a difference between the A038 of the Magician Alpha. The lockout switch here is easy to get to in terms of flipping the switch, but when it comes to adjusting the rebound, it becomes quite difficult inside the linkage. Also, when you want to pump up the shock, you must take an effort to push the suspension down so you can access the valve. When it comes to the wired bike, you get the D&M A08RC. It does have the 3-position switch for lockout and dampening, and then you can easily access the valve port for adding air to the shock, and adjustment of the rebound is easy as well. Now, the Magician Alpha has the Innova 26x4 tires that were built for the higher speeds that this bike is capable of, which is counter to the cool ride tires of the wired Warrior and the wired Scout. However, we do like this tread pattern. What we did notice is that this tread pattern, though knobby, is very quiet, but it does fall victim to an even quieter Bafang motor from Magician. There is a stark difference between the seats on these two bikes, and you can see that we've already done our modified replacement for what's to come in this video. However, wanted to give you a look at the cushion on these, or the platform upon which you would put your keister, and then recognize that at this point, I am more able to tolerate the wired seat than I am the Magician seat, and I think Scott would concur with my assessment as well.
100%.
One of the big differences for the bikes themselves is the angle of the front fork, and what you'll notice this with is the removal of the battery. There is quite a big gap here and makes it a lot easier to remove the battery on the Magician Alpha than what you would have if you were working with the wired Warrior. There is a much smaller gap here, and when you do remove the battery, you have to make sure to turn the wheel to be able to get access and remove it. Yeah, it's this.
I mean, you can visually see
These
it.
are 10s and these are 8s. The handlebars on the wired Warrior do look very, very similar to that of the Magician Alpha. However, there is a compact stature of a difference of about 2 inches for the wired Warrior. With the grips, you also get the ergonomic grips, but they're the slick synthetic leather that fits the palm of your hand and allows for a more comfortable grip. However, it's much different from the performance grips of the Magician Alpha and the way its posture is, with a 2-inch higher handlebar set. Though this isn't a very big deal, we do have to acknowledge that this is just not a good look for the Magician Alpha, especially when you acknowledge that the competitor has a nice branded neoprene wrap that looks much, much better up on the front hand side of the e-bike. Another notable difference is the front fork, the X-Show hydraulic fork with 120 millimeters of travel on this. You also have the Star Union 4-piston hydraulic brakes. Now, when taking a look at this, you see a notable difference in the structure of the through axle mount for this fork, which is much different than what you have here, especially in the width of the bottom of the through axle for the fork. This wired RST guide front fork has 80 millimeters of travel, but both do have lockout and preload adjustments, which is quite nice. The wired Warrior comes with the Gemma 4-piston hydraulic brakes as well. You'll notice a portrait style display for the Magician Alpha, and you can change the themes on how it looks in the readout, which is quite nice. This does have an effect on the settings menu and how that looks as well, where the more settings is at the bottom of the screen and must be advanced into. The settings groups are across the top of the display, with those settings within that group listed on each individual screen. and you will notice the differences with information, language, theme, and riding parameters. Now, the Wired has a landscape style display with a fixed theme to the home screen with very, very intuitive settings with each grouping set and the ability to advance into those menus quite easily, addressing the majority of all of the aspects you need for fine-tuning your bike without connection to the app. That is one of the major differences with the Magician Alpha. Within the Magician Alpha, you can change the majority of your settings within the settings menu, but you also have the ability to do so with the Bafang Go app. You can change all of your paths settings throughout the application using the mobile application on your phone. Now, this application will be updated in the coming months. It is October 12th today. And on this, you will notice that the units are in metric. They will be changed and set for an English metric conversion, whatever you choose within the application. And then they will be updating the naming convention and settings of the custom riding modes.
It seems when it comes to the similarities of these bikes, well, they both have the same super bright front tiny headlight on them, which is a very nice feature. And we have tested those out and they work excellent. You have metal fenders, the standard 7-speed thumb shifter here at the top. Both of these have that, and they both have quarter twist throttles. The Magician Alpha doesn't come with a bell though. The Wired, it does. Both of them have aluminum pedals and they're about the same size. Bafang claims that they have 200 Newton meters of torque and the Wired has 180. My question is the Wired gonna beat the Alpha when it comes to drag racing and hill climbing? Let's find out. So these are the stats. I weigh 225 pounds.
225 pounds.
Right, well, the height doesn't matter when it comes to that. It's gonna be a fair race. And are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
It's not fair because I'm taller and I'm the bigger.
I get it,
Like,
but I'm like shorter and
I
rounder.
don't like your aerodynamics.
I'm a little bit more aerodynamic, yes. All right, let's go.
On this
We're calling this, well, I call it drag race.
to the stop sign.
To the stop sign?
So
Well,
first to the touch their tire to the stop sign painted white.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Throttle only. Bye-bye.
You can do it, baby. We're here in spirit. Oh man. So I'm looking like 3 bike lengths, 4, 5, 6. Maybe I can beat him just on braking power alone. Nope.
He was like, go. Thanks. You thought you were gonna beat me because I was gonna brake too quick?
There were like 10 bike lengths.
Huh?
There were about 10 bike lengths or more.
Yeah, it was. I didn't even look back. Look, it's what you expected.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you just don't like being on.
Do not like to lose. Let's head up this pedestrian bridge, see what that does, and then we'll take the trip back.
All right. Also, for the record, I have mine in start strength number 3. So if I had that start strength in 0,
You wouldn't be able to handle it.
no,
Don't
I
even-
first
like,
I
come
put it
on.
down to 0 for a hot
Alright,
second.
All right, so we're gonna do like a dead start up the hill, first into the cage.
Yep. Okay. 3.
Throttle only, right?
Yep. 3,
I need to restart you because like, I feel like you might beat me again. I don't know.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh man.
I'm even letting off. He's not catching that.
Okay. Climb mode.
All right. You want to go back?
I
and
want to do one coming back in climb mode.
Okay. Isn't there like a $400 price difference though?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Hello. All right. What?
Just losing. It sucks.
So you're
You
right.
didn't lose. The bike lost.
I am one with my bike.
Right.
I must feel the energy.
You
flow
own them
through
both.
me.
This is a no-lose situation for you.
I want it to be that way.
All right, so we have established that the Magician is $400 cheaper than the Warrior.
Yes.
Yep.
And oh, what a $400 it is. Because oh my gosh, I love riding this bike.
Right.
I love it.
But I also kept this down in the pedal assist or start strength 3.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't believe you could handle 0. It would actually be worse for you if you tried to start in 0 because it would just it would peel out, it would flop out from under you or something.
Well, just so you know, before we did this race, I went ahead and put it in 0 and did a couple of takeoffs with it, and I'm like, no, because the front wheel come up.
Yeah.
Even though I leaned forward, it was like, and I'm like, okay, we're just going back to pedals to start strength number 3.
All right, so I have climb mode, and I'd like to see how that
Are we pedaling? Do you need to pedal in climb mode?
Because I don't think so. I can get climb, and then the stat screen, and then power output.
All right. Well, to see how many watts you're putting out.
Yeah.
I have been recording, so it'll tell us. Move back, look, and see what that output has been.
And then I'd like to do it. I mean, obviously we know that you're going to win, so I'd like to do it on a start. Understanding the caveat would be 28 miles an hour.
Oh, like you mean you want to put this in class 3
yeah,
or
this thing caps out. In climb mode, it caps out.
Claps
at
out.
29.
Oh, well, I won't go any faster than that.
Sure, Scott.
No.
Sure you won't. I hope this camera will be able to see it.
Okay, ready?
Throttle only, yes?
3, 2, 1, go. All right, now you got more of a
I'm
shot.
looking, I got 44, 45. Woo! Oh my goodness.
That was a big difference.
4,500, I was right on your butt.
Yep, but you were still on my butt. So by an inch or a mile, a win's a win.
Damn it. So we'll do a dead start, open roadway, see how long it can pace with you before you just take off.
Ready? You're gonna do it in climb mode, see if you
Yeah,
can
in
keep up?
climb mode, I only have to 29 miles an hour.
All right.
That's it.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, and that's it.
I'd hit 30, so why even go faster? His bike is locked out at 28 or 29. So it seems it only matters whenever you're climbing, hence the climb mode,
I'll take that.
right? I mean,
Yes. Let's say that the hill was straight up and the motor just simply could not engage. It would just be the generation of heat. But since the motor can engage, it's how much of that efficiency is applied to the work of the motor itself. And I think that's what they're saying, is that you've got this high level efficiency here. It's time to spill the beans, I think, though, and that is the statement of the specs.
yeah, when you were looking at, you've cracked these open, so you know what the controller can handle, right? So we were talking about this. When you take the maximum amount of volts that you can put in a battery to the controller, that tells you how much output you can actually put to the motor.
Yes.
And what did it come with on the Alpha?
So the overriding it's not even a sentiment. The fact is, based on stated specs, Wired under promises and way over delivers. And then the Alpha they are running with the industry on the roundup method.
Right.
Yes.
So they rounded up to show that this thing is a 5,000 watt peak hub motor, while Wired rounded down.
Yes. thing went down. And it's like, oh my.
Oh my.
So 65 plus or minus 1 amps on the current limit for this 72 volt controller on the Warrior, and it is 58. And there is no designation. I believe that in that the Fang and its components very precise, very streamlined, very well made, but a bigger difference, especially in startup, right? You're delivering a lot more current.
It's just brute power, dude. It's just brute torque. I mean, they say this bike has more torque than this one, and we have shown that is not the case.
You can't deny it when you're looking at it. Climb
Plus,
mode,
I have this in the softest takeoff settings.
The only thing we haven't done right now is one like an incredibly hilly area, but even still, like based on that, you're just gonna beat the pants off of this bike.
This thing is gonna dominate.
I'm gonna get more aggravated about it because I really love this bike. So it's just
look, it doesn't make it any less great of a bike, right? I mean, it's still. I mean, we had a great time on this bike when we rode it for the past 2 days. Right, but you just can't compete. These things are these are beasts. This is a refined, right? This is a refined Ferrari, right? Yeah. And then you have this 1969 Mustang twin turbo nitrous oxide beast that's just like, sup? Cute car, right?
But Olenzo, he's shivering in his shoes, understanding what's here on the backside. I have high hopes for what's to come, the future of the Magician and the Alpha lineup, but there's no questioning that the wired setup, the 72 volt single motor wired Hintocks are killing it right now.
And but you got to give it to wired though. This is their third generation or second or third generation of this. That's their first on that one, and they've done one heck of a job.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I don't think, look, if you buy that bike or this bike, you're not going to be disappointed on the power.
If you
just don't want to pull up on that bike to this one and say, do you want to run them for pinks?
I would, and then I'd lose.
No, that's when you just.
I would have the confidence that this thing instilled in me throughout the ride, and then I pull up to this bike and feeling good about myself, and then get skunked. But you're right. Steve went through the 2024, 2024 Plus, and the 72 volt iterations in a span of less than 2 years. So it's just it's ridiculous.
He learned how to fine tune it. Magician will probably do the same. You want to go run those guys right there?
I know them, but yes, they would be surprised. But they would expect it from me.
Oh, because they know that you like all the high-speed stuff? Oh, okay. All right. Well, guys, I think that kind of wraps up this video, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. We know who the clear winner is. As much as it pains me to say it.
Oh, I love my wired bike.
My Dowdy Scott and the wired Warrior.
It's a good boy.
Yeah, keep that nice shine on that thing.
And don't even attempt to put that up against a Predator.
I would probably still say let's go.
Yeah, you would.
I would. It's just so smooth and nice. Oh my gosh.
No, you cannot deny how smooth and nice that ride is and how quiet it is and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes you just want to get down and dirty, bro. And this will do it.
We had like a noise sensitivity test where there was a group of people and I just silently ride by and then here you come screaming on through.
Right by him and watch me like, Jesus Christ!
Yes, that.
Yeah.
There he is again.
What'd you say?
I said, it's that noise. There he is again.